I'm of a mind, make some mookie. Phone book.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Lunatic Creative Podcast. I am your host, Jason Paul, joined by...
Sean Davis.
There you go, Sean Davis. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. First, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. One, I think the show is going to sound better this week, I think. If it still sounds like shit, let us know. We know the last two sounded like shit. We think this one's going to be better. Tweak the setup a little bit. We don't want to get too inside baseball, but we're trying to make it sound better for you. On that note, you can find us more places. We have a YouTube channel now. Just go to youtube.com, search Lunatic Creative. Our old episodes will pop up. From there, you can subscribe to our channel so you'll get updates every time we post a new episode there. We're going to be posting the episodes there as well. They're only audio form right now. I do want to implement video, but right now you're not missing much. We don't look that good on a Friday night after a full work week. We're on iTunes now, though. That's really cool. That's like a real podcast thing. Go to iTunes and just search Lunatic Creative. We're there. Subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars. I know the reviews really help on iTunes, so please do that. We'll get to Stitcher eventually. I think I'm the only one I know that uses Stitcher. But I love Stitcher. So we're going to get there. And of course, lunaticcreative.com, where you can get articles that there's none yet, but they're going to be, trust me. Pictures, we'll post shit. You know what, Sean? You should post things from your Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, we never did this, but where can people find you on social media? But wait, I'm going to be selfish again, not really, but for the podcast, at Lunatic Creative on Twitter. Please follow us there. We'll tweet out whenever a new episode goes up. But Sean, how about you? Where can people reach you?
I don't really use Twitter much. I probably tweet things out. I just really got back into it, but it's at Duty John. Yes,
spell that, because that's not, if people duty is spelled, I guess it's the way it's phonetically said, but I never spelled duty before. So spell that and then John, because John is a Philly fucking word, people. If you're listening to this in Southern California or fucking Hawaii, there are 34 hits on our website from Russia. I think
that's awesome.
I think Edward Snowden likes the podcast.
That's
so
right.
We're fucking worldwide, people. You're listening to a worldwide podcast. Maybe one day we can do it live in Moscow Red Square, and our people will come out, and we can wear those cool Russian hats.
Not promoting communism in any way.
I'm a bit of a socialist. I'll be open with the people. Okay, Duty John, and then what's your...
DOODIEJAWN, that's John. And then my Instagram is Mega John, just like Optimus Prime, Mega Prime, whatever you want to say. It's MEGAJWN, John.
Sean's got a lot of cool shit on the Instagram. It's definitely toy. It's on it tilts to the toy related stuff, and it's really cool. And you have like followers on Instagram. I don't have followers on anything, but you have like legitimate followers on Instagram that like when you buy Power Rangers stuff, right?
Correct.
So he's world famous on Instagram. We're a world famous website. We're really rolling. Me on Twitter. You can find me at that J Paul. Now J-A-Y is spelled not just the letter. We're going to spell it J. That J Paul on Twitter. I don't really have an Instagram. I have it. I don't use it.
You got to get into it.
I think I'll create one for Lunatic Creative. Just
it's great. It's great because of the niches. Like I collect toys, so it's like I take pictures of toys, hashtag my toy stuff. And literally, I look at Instagram and use it for people taking pictures of their toys. Yes, it's corny, but it's niche and cool, and that's why I like it.
I mean, it makes sense for toys. I follow a couple girls have asked me to follow them on. That's it. Like it's for.
Are they like naked?
No,
like
no, not
porn stars
totally.
or something?
No, like civilian, regular girls I meet.
People get naughty on that stuff.
Cupid.
I saw a girl the other day on an Instagram, and she was like half covered in her boobs. I was like, this girl's like legitly naked, but like they'll make up for it, and it'll be like, so they'll put like, okay, I'm a model. What else
Everybody's a model on Instagram. Every fucking girl's a model on Instagram. But it is. I mean, a lot of girls are just attractive. That's perfect for them. If they don't have anything else to offer, and they're just attractive. They could get 100,000 followers just being hot, and God fucking bless them. better than trying to be witty on Twitter or put out actual quality podcasts. If I was a good-looking chick, I would embrace every I wouldn't have fucking went to college.
No one likes them in real life, but they have like 1 million followers on Facebook. But
yeah.
0 friends in real life.
Well, you don't have to go down. You don't have to go past the surface.
Right.
But that's not just attractive. It's everyone. Nobody wants to go down the surface. All right, we're getting too deep for a show about geek shit. That's basically what this has turned into. So it's Friday, it's February 6th. So that, just so you know, this is when we're wrapping up from the news from this past week. And there's nothing more noteworthy this week. And I guess it's not really geekdom, but this is the pop culture spectrum we're going to hone in on right now. The Super Bowl happened. We watched the Super Bowl from an entourage-esque house, I'm going to say. I've been to where the rich people are, and it's everything you want and more. They seem nice. There's great views. Neighborhood's quiet. The food is excellent.
It's not like gunshots and like people crying, dogs barking. It's like we heard a basketball, and I was like, wow, that kid can literally play basketball outside safe without getting hit by a car. And he actually has a yard and a big enough blacktop to play basketball. And I'm like, okay, you can't find that, in the good old Lawndale area. Or just go to a park and then you find it.
Or in North Philadelphia, like where we met, you weren't going to find it. It's. I don't know. I don't think it's right for me, folks. I don't think I'm ever. I hope not. I don't. See, I don't feel at home unless there's a homeless person outside my door. I like to have reality hit me right in the face.
The guy moved. The guy who was down the street moved down to the other overpass. But this time he's given up. He's just laying there in the sun, getting baked. I'm like, man, this guy I guess he's like, fuck it.
I guess it's all right homeless weather right now. Not to make people on the East Coast or the Midwest or the Great Lakes area jealous, but it's fucking gorgeous out here the past couple of
days
weeks
have been good
at this point. And so I think it's good homeless weather. And I'd say this, if you're a homeless person listening to this podcast, get your ass to Southern California. There's not a better fucking place to be homeless. Because every day's a beach day.
Yeah.
You can just live on the fucking beach. Get out of Philadelphia, get out of New York City, get out of D.C., get out of Baltimore, get a bus, just start walking, because it's beautiful out here. But that let's get back to Super Bowl. Super Bowl, not without its controversy going into it with Deflategate, which, for the record, I think is the biggest load of horse shit, the most media-contrived bullshit thing I've ever heard. And I'm not a Patriots fan or anything of the sort. I just think when we're talking about something so minute of letting a ball deflate with no evidence that it was done purposefully or it didn't come from Tom Brady himself or Belichick. We might never know what happens. We probably will never know what happens. But we know what the so-called cheating, quote unquote, resulted in. Which is a ball was a little bit less than it should have been during a fucking blowout. That's all I want to say on that. But because the game itself was amazing. That was a top 3 Super Bowl for me personally. Sean, did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was frustrating because I wanted the Seahawks to win. Girlfriend's from Seattle, but at the end of the day, I'm always interested in it because of the trailers and the commercials. And the commercials. There was only a few that I liked. They just weren't there. Up to par. The snidbit teasers and movie things were better than I feel like most of the
I feel like those are like the most consistent of all sort of commercials.
The one got us though, the Chevy one.
That was
the TV
cool.
Went out because we were at that house, and dude, as soon as it went out, I looked right at you, and your face was like, "Oh shit! I think we just broke the TV.
We just broke a rich person's television, which is bad. You don't want to break a rich person's anything.
And then it just comes up. It's like, imagine if your TV went out. And thank God.
It was fucking great. But ironically or coincidentally, I'm not an English major, folks, so don't hold me to these words. I just try to sound smart. Coincidentally, that was before the game even started. So we could argue the best fucking commercial happened before the game. There's a few commercials of note, I guess, before we get to the trailers, which is sort of where we intersect here with this Lunatic Creative Podcast, where we go over the week in geekdom. Kim Kardashian was on a commercial for what was it? T-Mobile. See, these commercials you remember more for the fucking people and not for.
She's the next Catherine Zeta-Jones. And you know what happened to her? She apparently went crazy.
I love
So
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
yeah, she's a great looking girl.
I have a sweet spot in my heart for anyone who goes crazy.
Yeah, but she was also with the crazy guy, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, apparently, she contributed to his throat cancer because he got it from... A lot of, apparently, throat cancers cause via HPV virus that you get from oral sex. So he has blamed his...
oh, that's sad.
He's blamed oral sex for it, and therefore Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'd like to say, Catherine...
Is that why
it's fucking worth it. It's fucking worth it. So, Catherine, come over here. I have no qualms about risking my life for that. Anyway, Kim Kardashian, not a great commercial. Kind of her making fun of herself, although I have a really hard time believing she possesses the self-awareness to know that she was making fun of herself.
I thought it was stupid.
It was stupid.
It wasn't good. It was just a boring... Buy my shit. We don't consumerism at a
There was a lot of like sad-ish ones, weird like domestic violence ones, and then the ones with the dads and the kids. It was something that I cannot relate to because I have a heart of just ice, like Mr. Freeze.
I think the best one was the draft one, the mock draft. It's like the guacamole, and the best thing for me was the clip of the polar bear with the sombrero with his fingers crossed. That was the coolest one. I was like, that's awesome.
That was really cool and funny and
original. That was it. Everything else was just...
Yeah, there's really... I don't even, like, remember outside the trip. I don't remember any to, like, comment on them. They're just blah. And I feel like this is a trend for the last 4 or 5 years. What was the last one that really made... Maybe the Jeddah Star Wars one. It was cute and funny, and it kind of reached everybody. Outside of that, it's. I think it might be a waste of money.
The coolest one that I remember was back in like '96, and it was when Michael Jordan saw like the Roadrunner, and it was like a Coke commercial or something. But that's like right when Space Jam was out. Roadrunner really wasn't in Space Jam, so it was like, oh hey, what's up? Like, let's do this little commercial for Coke or something. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember that commercial, and that to me was like one of the coolest ones.
Being the age that we are, sort of, the ones I think are that most ingrained in my memory personally are the Budweiser frogs.
Yep. Was that the What's Up one or just the Bud?
Well, no. And then it evolved into the What's Up? What's Up? And those were good. Something now it would be played out even faster than it was. Those last for a couple years. And then I don't know if these were specifically a Super Bowl when they debuted, but those goddamn polar bears, Coca-Cola. I feel like they always debut a new one.
Yeah.
And those were all right. I like those better than the horses and the Budweiser.
The Coke one this year wasn't even that great. It was like, I'm trying to remember. And it was real like artsy, but it was just like, it was kind of boring.
Yeah. So I wasn't thrilled, but
the game was great, so that's what made up for it.
Came down to the last second. Very controversial play. This isn't news, but the Patriots won, folks. So that was cool.
Seahawks, all they had to do was 1 yard. It was just like the one with the Titans and the Patriots.
Titans and the Rams.
The Rams. That's
close to forcing overtime, reaching out right at the goal line. That was the end. But
the best part is they had the best. For the Seahawks, they had the best running back in the league, and they're like, "No, we'll throw it. It's the best. It's the best logical decision."
It was
right?
just stupid, and everybody is trying to somehow—not everybody, but people are sort of, "Oh, this is the case why he did that." Whatever. It's dumb. Whatever the case you make, you have the best running back.
I guarantee
try to run it in. Yes, you might have had to pass one time in that drive, but don't do it then. But we're not football people, but everyone knew that, and the casual fan knew that. It's crazy that Pete Carroll sort of made an ass of himself in front of everybody on the biggest possible audience. That's going to be known as a fuck up after a great fucking catch, but that's going to be known as a fuck up, and I think that's going to overshadow anything from Deflategate that happened a couple weeks earlier. So the game was great. We saw some cool trailers. The first trailer that we saw, I believe chronologically, this came up first, and it came up fast, and most importantly, furiously. Furious number 7, which from seeing the trailer, I realized that they ditched Fast and they just went Furious. They were like,
was it Furious 7, right?
Just Furious 7. Why can't they keep the Fast and Furious?
It's more because it's more of a heist now. So like, we're not so fast anymore. We are getting older, so we're just going to be crazy. And in the trailer, specifically, run cars through building to building, like 12 feet high.
It's ridiculous. These movies are ridiculous.
I was like 100 feet.
What was the first resurgent good one? The 4, 5, or whatever one they named Fast and Furious again.
That was the fourth one. Fast and Furious.
That's sort of like what?
Then it was Fast 5, and then the Fast and the Furious. I don't know.
See, it's dumbfounding. I'm excited because these movies are entertaining.
Yeah, they're good.
Something.
But Paul Walker died.
Well, that's sad.
So total 180 on the movie. You know he's going to die in the movie. How is he going to die in the movie?
I think it's going to be a very big focal point of the storyline.
And he just turned into a dad in the last one. So that's definitely why I think it'll be
But these movies are about family. There's always a fucking barbecue scene. No
you
matter
see the house
what.
blow up.
The house
they messed
blows up.
left the oven on, bro.
Who? Jason Statham, presumably. Somebody.
He's sick. He's the bad guy.
That's really cool they added him. I feel like this is... I don't want to compare it to the Expendables, but I'd rather watch a Fast and the Furious movie 10 times out of 10 because these are more contemporary actors with like Ludacris and Tyree. They're relevant.
All right, fire them up.
Like it's pretty. Ludacris has made a great transition into acting just because of these movies. That's like it. I don't know. I'm sure
he's a better actor than he was ever a rapper. He plays the nerdy tech guy. Well, he's got good songs.
But he's done
decent
better
in it though.
He's done better acting than I ever expected him to. I'm sure he'll get like an NCIS role like Cool J or a Law and Order role after he's done. I think he'd be great at that. And I don't think he's gonna. Ice Cube, I think, is on another level when it comes to rappers turned actors. He does commercials, does TV, produces movies, stars in movies. He does everything. But Ludacris has carved a nice little career. Tyrese, I don't know if he does music anymore.
He posts Instagram videos like crazy about like all these haters and stuff, and posts what he have, and basically, tries to like tell people to stop being haters. I mean, it's cool and everything, but he does it a lot. So I guess he must have a lot of haters. I mean, he's a good, decent actor. I love the lines he has in the second one, like "We hungry." Like he's the original OG brother from Fast and Furious, and then it branched to Luda,
right?
Yeah.
No,
they were both in the
second
same one.
Too Fast, Too Furious was a great song.
Two brothers.
Everything. It was the peak of Luda's music.
It was,
and as he was drifting, if you will, into acting. And then we got Too Fast, Too Furious.
You got to play a sound bit of that song.
Yeah,
that shit's awesome.
Well, that'll test my editing skills. But I think was that the last great movie song that is about the movie itself?
What was the one from Bad Boys?
What
the one with P. Diddy? It was like that was a big one too.
Shake Your Tail Feather.
Yeah,
that was a good. I love that video and I love that song. But Too Fast, Too Furious had the name of the movie in the song.
Act a fool.
It was like back dance. It was those old time themes to movies that we don't get anymore, and I miss that. So I really liked it. But yeah, Fast and Furious is very unique. Everyone's signed on to do at least 10 movies. Vin Diesel's great in them.
But will Paul Walker because he's not going to be in the next 3 or whatever, make the movies less interesting or less, important? Because he was the main character from the original one.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's gone, and they said they went back and had his brothers film shots that they needed to reshoot. So it's like, is he gonna die in an accident, come back, get reconstructive surgery, and look like his brother or something? Or
no, I think what they're doing is they're gonna use the scenes he filmed as before he died, and then sort of to fill in the gaps since they weren't leading up to that in the original script. Probably use shots of his brothers and whatnot. I assume what they're doing with that is they're gonna CGI the face, take the body from his brothers, use other shots of them like walking and stuff.
I just hope it doesn't look bad because it's not like a sci-fi movie.
That's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna look bad. And the voice, I guess maybe one of their voices is pretty similar. So I wouldn't be worried about that. What I'd be worried about is this like one too many? But I think adding Jason Statham, I think it injects some life into the franchise.
That's the first good, like, decent actor they had as a bad guy. You know, it was just some random Asian guy, and the other one was two random Asian guys in the first one.
Well, The
second
Rock
one.
was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Before now, he's like a good guy, kind of bad guy.
He's like
even
the
though
cop
he's
that
a good
gets
guy,
them jobs.
he's a good
They run
cop.
heists, basically.
I think he's a good cop, but he's a bad guy. It's confusing.
Yeah.
The lines are blurred. Lines are blurred in that movie, folks. So I think it. I mean, I'm going to see it eventually.
I'll probably see
go
it.
to the movie theater.
I'm not
for
going to
it.
go the day it comes out.
To me, that's kind of like an HBO movie because it's something that this is boring me a little bit, I can move on. I got to be in a specific mood if I'm just going to watch a movie about cars blowing. But the ridiculousness is crazy at this point. It's absolutely ridiculous. The car going through a skyscraper. And then presumably, I think it was landing in another skyscraper. Absolutely ridiculous. What other crazy things did we see? The house blew up, as we mentioned. What other craziness did you notice in the trailer, Sean?
Just the house blowing up. And just thinking, poor Paul Walker, good guy. He had a good foundation, I know. There's a video I saw after he passed away I watched and that made me cry. So donate to that foundation if it's still going.
He seemed like a legitimately good dude, legitimately good father.
I heard a story that he was downtown somewhere and people were ring shopping. He was at a jewelry store. And they wanted an engagement ring. It was like $10,000 or $15,000 and they were looking at it. And he told the jeweler, give these people this money and buy them that ring. Did you hear about that story? No. Yeah, it's a legitimate... I'm pretty sure it's a true story because I heard he was like a good guy. But how awesome would that be? Like, Paul Walker you would never say it to your wife until like something as tragic as his passed away. By the way, Paul Walker bought your ring.
So you know she can't leave you for him. Yeah. Because that's a fucking baller ass move. So yeah, he's got a great legacy though in not to just, to marginalize someone as just a movie actor, but he is a fucking hell of a legacy. The Fast and the Furious movies are going to be around forever. People are going to remember those. I don't think people are going to remember.
You can definitely see the cars and the theme ride park or whatever.
Theme park ride opening in Universal. I'm excited.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Since I got the season pass, it's a reason to go, which I love. So I'm looking forward to that. So Furious 7, that comes out in the summer. Definitely a good summer movie. The other trailer we saw, something we talked about a little bit 2 weeks ago, I believe.
Try to talk about it in every episode? Or you think is it Jurassic Park?
We're going to keep it going, yeah. Every episode till it comes out, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I like that, because I love Jurassic Park.
So we saw the trailer, as did I imagine most of you, and it looks like we can piece together the plot from this trailer.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it looks to be the fine people at Jurassic Park and Ron Howard's daughter decides it's a great idea to genetically, not clone, but sort of create a new dinosaur, I'm assuming, from two or maybe more.
The Indominus Rex.
Different species. It looks like they artificially create this thing. It grows. And of course, like all things at Jurassic Park, goes terribly fucking wrong. Because when you deal with dinosaurs, one option, and it's a big probability it might happen, is things might go wrong because they're fucking big and they're fucking terrifying. If you're going to create a park like that, I'd keep the dinosaurs small, but they don't. They go ballsy, and it looks like...
She says, this will make the kids scream, right? Yeah, because they've never seen it before. Yeah. It looks like a raptor mixed with, like... the Spinosaurus and a Tyrannosaurus, like I just hope it doesn't look stupid to the point where it's like, okay, that looks like a bunch of shit dipped in breadcrumbs. Like, okay, that's over the top. It's got big teeth and raptor hands that we see.
I hope it looks cool. I don't think it's gonna be derivative of any like Godzilla like thing. I hope it's more. I like the story. I think I like the ultimate moral they're going to.
What did you like best about the trailer?
I like best that. I mean, I didn't like that they gave away the whole
Chris Pratt's
the whole story, but I like this. I like where they're going with the story. So ultimately, I guess it was good they showed me the story. I like that Chris Pratt is playing the role I think we want him to play.
Trainer, like
protagonist,
some kind of animal trainer,
sort of the guy on the side of nature. Again, it's going to be the whole nature versus, man playing
the
God.
Jeff Goldblum-esque character of the trainer. So a little mix of Jeff Goldblum with Sam Neill's character and that he's the trainer guy. He knows about dinosaurs probably. I mean, he's training raptors, which is, I think, pretty awesome because the raptors to me are the best in all of them. And they have been in all of them.
I think they know that, and I think that. And they're not...
Raptors versus new dinosaur.
And they're not like Everyone loves T-Rex, but T-Rex is bad. From that first one, nobody's going to think that they're good. But raptors, for some reason, people have a sweet spot. I like that he's going to try... the raptors...
It's a different element we haven't seen. And I think
him.
they needed it. Because they probably learned from the original park. We just put him in the environment. Nobody tried to, maintain them... at a psychological level because they're 65 million year old animals coming back and probably finding a way to survive. They see people, I'm going to eat them. No, let me train you. I want to ride you. Like Land Before Time. I'm going to ride you like a little dinosaur.
It wouldn't surprise me if that theme park, they do have that. That would be cool.
That will be the end. It'll be him on the back of a T-Rex or a raptor with his hat off, owning to the Jurassic Park franchise.
And I wonder if this is going to be the first of many movies because
they'll milk it.
How many times? But how many times can you tell the story of we shouldn't have fucking did this?
That's the story.
We really shouldn't have fucking did this time. We're sorry, but we're going to try it one more time. I hope the general public learns. But it looks cool. Is that a summer movie? It's a summer movie, right?
Yeah, I think it looks awesome though. The effects will look good. Chris Pratt will handle it. Even if the story itself is kind of cheesy and stupid, I think we can expect to good things. I would say IMDb rating maybe at the worst 6.5, maybe 7.
We're predicting IMDb ratings now. I don't think they have to do much to satisfy people. I think
it's all visual.
The first Jurassic Park was a simple fucking story, and it plays out the way you want it to, and it creates a lot of suspense. I just hope this trailer gave away the whole plot. I hope there's subtleties, nuances in that plot we didn't get to, maybe a few surprises. So that was cool. What other movie news do we have for this week, Sean?
Jupiter Ascending.
Jupiter Ascending.
They showed I saw a little clip online. I think they may have showed something during the Super Bowl.
Maybe. But if they did, I don't remember it, so it wasn't good.
Wachowski brother movie.
Wachowskis.
Sci-fi. It's got Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis. I know we talked about it last week a little bit when we mentioned Mila Kunis and Ted 3. But I liked Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas was their last movie that I liked. It wasn't really. I don't think they market their movies to the point where Sony will market Spider-Man and spend so much money marketing it. You saw the trailer, you know it. And you didn't see much marketing about this one either.
Well, from the reviews it's getting, it was the good choice not to tell people that they were behind this.
I mean, I'll probably see it. I liked Cloud Atlas. I like the visual eye candy, and I don't know, their movies, definitely niche movies, I think. I tend to like their movies because they're different. They're not, they're original stories. They're not reboots, or reimaginations. It's straight from their mind, and that's what I think, to me, makes it the most entertaining. It's you don't have to really enjoy it, but to just understand the art behind creating a movie like that, of that nature. I think that's what I enjoy most about it. Even if it probably be a shitty movie, but I know I liked it because it looked awesome, or Channing Tatum's basically 21 Jump Street in space with Mila Kunis, so I don't know. I'll see it though eventually.
I like the cast, but we talked about it last week. I didn't even know it was coming out this week.
Yeah,
we don't watch cable, but I would have thought I would have seen something. I watch enough YouTube where an ad could have popped. I don't know. The reviews, 22% at Rotten Tomatoes right now. So I tried to read in depth a couple of the reviews. Certainly doesn't seem my type of flick, but I don't know. The Wachowskis have sort of built up enough goodwill from
IMDb 6.1,
The Matrix, where certain group, their core fans are going to follow them. And I heard Speed Racer was good.
My buddy likes Speed Racer a lot. That's one of his favorite movies, and I never saw it in the movie trailer, but I thought it was cool. It had a cartoon. It had a cartoon feel to it.
That got shit reviews. Cloud Atlas got shit reviews, and both those movies, people sort of came around on them as more.
Yeah, I like Cloud Atlas.
So who knows if that's going to happen with Jupiter Ascending? It's almost like their movies shouldn't go to the theater because it's too iffy that someone's going to that someone's going to come out for it.
Like maybe high-end sci-fi channel releases, you like pay-per-view for sci-fi.
Well, just Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah.
But their movies cost too much. That's the thing. And if your movies cost in excess of $100 million, you got to bring people, you got to bring butts into the seats. There's no way. Are they going to revisit The Matrix? Is that I've only seen.
I think that'd be cool.
The way
the third one ended, you could have.
Don't they have to atone for those last two that people?
The second one,
people
the
liked
one
the
was
second
decent.
one, but then people stopped liking the second one as much when the third one came.
I think they were just disappointed with the ending in the third one. It's like people want to know now. It's like, okay, they beat the machines. Now what? It's like, okay, is everything just peace and full and happy again, or is it just the entire thing of the Matrix is like a program in itself and it just repeats itself? So like, oh, there's a new The Chosen One and it's the same program being restarted. Like I don't know. I think we just want more Tron sequels because that was basically like man inside a computer instead of machines with man in the future.
Well, they need to do more Tron sequels. Jeff Bridges is he's getting older. He's no spring chicken. He can't pick a movie to save his life. His new movie came out this weekend, Seventh Son, 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Following up The Maze Runner, which did shit. He's awesome here in interviews, and I'm not gonna, whatever. He's in his 60s.
5.8 on IMDb.
See what? But everything. I look up everything on IMDb, and it's either a 5.5 to like a 7.4.
But I think the reviews on that.
See, I go Rotten Tomatoes, and I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't the end all be all because it's subjective whether a review is positive or negative. Maybe I'd say the good film critics wouldn't make it positive or negative. They just lay it out for you. But on IMDb, I swear, does any movie have a 9, a 10? Or it's like does The Godfather?
I'm gonna look up The Dark Knight. Let's see, because
The Dark Knight should have at least an 8.
Let's see, 9.0, sir.
Well,
9.0 for The Dark Knight.
Pretty good.
Let's see The Dark Knight Rises, because this one definitely fell off a little bit.
But it was well reviewed to start.
Let's see.
But if it takes an
8.5, it dropped 0.5.
Well, that's all. That's about 3 points, 3 full points too many.
But honestly,
I was wrong about that movie at the start. I admit it now. Dark Knight Rises, not that good of a movie.
That's probably the only
cool parts.
Batman Begins and Batman Dark Knight is probably the only movie sequel where the sequel is better than the original one.
Godfather Part
Begins,
2.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But Begins 8.3, Dark Knight 9, Rises.
Well, it depends
8.5.
how you count it. Because if you think of it like
it definitely was better than the first one.
The Avengers is the first Avengers, but it's also like a Empire Strikes Back is also better than
that's true for sure.
There's a couple. But not, it's unique because it's
probably the most modern one as of now.
Yeah.
Within the past 10 years.
And that was Dark Knight. Summer of 2008. Some good movies. Good time. Before I went to college, so innocent.
I didn't even know Batman Begins came out when it did. I remember seeing Fantastic Four, I think it was that long with it. And my buddy's like, oh, why didn't you see the new Batman first? And I was like, well, shit, a new Batman finally came out? Because I was so caught up probably on like the stuff that was going to happen with like Triumphant, like that one, and like all that. I was like, I didn't even know they made a new Batman. And then I snuck into it right after I found out.
I saw it in IMAX in New York City. It was great.
Begins, the first one?
The first one. Because, and I don't know if Nolan shot the first one in IMAX. I can't imagine he did, because I don't know if they knew how big the movie was. Maybe I think they shot some scenes.
The second one was, for sure, though.
Second one, I think...
That one looks good, too.
Second one, I love Nolan's filmmaking and his use of practical effects. His shots, especially, or particularly in The Dark Knight, I love... It makes me... It's not like the Gotham I would put on screen, because I love Tim Burton's Gotham. But, like, it's a real-world Gotham. I love how he used Chicago. The shots of the city look good. I didn't like Pittsburgh as much for the third one, but I thought with the second one, Chicago was perfect. And that
the scene with the cars
semi,
and the big that was the best.
It was like a real effect.
When it flipped, it was a real effect. And then like them in the tunnel shooting him shooting the fucking rockets through the tunnel and all the cars flipping over.
And then the hospital blowing up behind him, that was a real effect too. And you only have one shot to do that. He killed it on his reaction. And
didn't even turn around to see it crumble. So and that was so evil.
And that was that was all Heath Ledger there. Like, you have to be really into it to have an explosion like that not rock you, because I guess you can try to mentally prepare yourself for that, but until you actually hear that explosion, you're not ready. You're just not ready for it. So Heath Ledger killed it. Maybe weirdly underrated now for his performance in that movie, even though he won the Oscar. Great performance. How did we fucking get talking to The Dark Knight? Where are we? Jupiter Ascending. It sucked. All right. What other movie news?
What are your top? What would be? And speaking of sci-fi movies, what would be your top 5 sci-fi movies?
Top 5
or top 3 even?
Sci-fi movies. Oh, you're asking the wrong person. I mean,
if you had to say Jurassic Park, you could say Jurassic Park.
Well, that's up there, but I think I really like Empire Strikes Back. We're gonna count like Star Wars. That's sci-fi, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think Empire Strikes Back. For like ones that gave me most joy in my life, it's the original trilogy.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, I mean, I haven't seen the sequel to the new Star Trek, but I like the first one. I like
second one's good.
Very J. James Abrams-y, but I think very good and very Star Wars-y. Kind of like sci-fi, I think. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Speaking of Star Trek, new news. Bryan Cranston rumored to be the villain for Star Trek 3. Which is great. I mean, Breaking Bad.
Which is because he was rumored to be the villain in Superman. And that didn't happen, right?
And then you know what's funny? Yeah, I think he was up for the role for Lex Luthor, I believe.
It was kind of like rumored out there, and then...
But what's funny about the new Star Trek 3 is that they're actually hiring Simon Pegg to write some of Star Trek 3 for the script.
I mean, he's a good writer.
Or it's rumored, but that...
Yeah, no, I saw that too, and I don't disagree with that.
Do you think he'll make it a little more funnier? Because the other ones are so serious. There's not a lot of comedic reliefs in it.
You mean other ones as the old ones, or other ones like the new incarnation of JJ?
Like the new ones.
Well, I think you could use some jokes, but
It's always serious. It's the diplomatic version of like it's all like the democracy of like the planets or whatever, like Star Wars. But like that's all it's about. And then like to get something done, it's like you need to kill this guy. They're like, all right, we're gonna go kill this guy now. It's not like Star Wars. It's like there's like it goes like a roller coaster. Like they have to do this because of that. It's just like this is what's happening. This is what needs to be done. That's it. Oh, it's happening again. Let's make a sequel.
I can't really speak to that because I'm not like I don't know whether you should do fan service to the original Star Trek. I'm assuming you should, since you call it Star Trek, and since that was the first it predates Star Wars, so there's a lot of like sci-fi fandom that has its origin takes place in Star Trek. A lot of parents pass it down to their kids, and they've sort of laid the groundwork for how accepted nerd culture is now, and the con started with people actually speaking Klingon. So I guess it depends how much you want to honor that, and whether or not you think a little lightheartedness can fit in. I think it can, because at the end of the day, it's being presented as a summer blockbuster movie, and you need a few laughs in those. And I think the laughs in Guardians this summer helped it a lot. I think X-Men didn't have as many as those laughs. And I think that's why I don't think people talked about it as much. I don't think it satisfied the wider audience as it did more specific comic book fans. So but Simon Pegg, I think he could probably write outside of comedy too.
Of course.
He's talented.
I think he's definitely multi-talented, so that's something to look forward to. We got... What else do we got? We have some TV show / Netflix lineup, starting off with, we'll do Teen Titan first. Coming out with a Teen Titans live action series rumored to be, which is kind of interesting. It's going to have, good old Robin as hopefully, obviously, the leader again. No, it's not announced. It's just a live action. It says TNT, right?
So it's on TNT.
Yeah, TNT. So it's going to have, yours truly, Nightwing in it. But it says he'll start off as Robin. The first episode may be him as Robin becoming Nightwing and then forming the Titans, which is kind of cool. And the lineup is a little tweaked. So they're going to have...
Let me ask you, I know nothing. Who the hell are the Teen Titans?
Basically, an Avengers-esque DC sidekick hero group. Like it's all.
Are they all like Robin associated with
like their sidekick,
with mentors?
Like, not necessarily. He's the main one, but everybody else is like. Do they have comics maybe outside of Teen Titans? Possibly. I'm not aware of them, but they may have a few. But, minor, DC Universe characters that are cool because they're a Teen Titan. What they can do, even if they had, I'm sure nowadays with the New 52, they probably have their own individual comics.
New 52's ending. Something happened. I saw it on IGN today, New 52's ending. I guess they're creating new storylines for, like, new universes for most of them or something.
You think it's because they're trying to push the movies?
That probably figures into it. And comic sales, I don't think they're doing amazing, so you probably need to reboot like something like that. But okay, give me an example of somebody in the Teen Titans.
Okay, so we got
who's somebody I don't know, and what do they do? What's their power? Are they teen powers? Is it like I can find the nearest porno mag?
I can finally buy cigarettes. Yes.
Is it like
no?
Like
it's
they get acne cream that comes out of their wrists like Spider-Man, and they just like confer on your breakouts. Is it a confidence booster to ask Mary Jo Sue Hart out to the dance? Is it
no? It's actually
sneak out of their house real easy.
It's funny. It's actually quite good. They've had several cartoons, and like the cartoons are really cool. It has more like an upbeat. We're a bunch of badasses, like, taking care of business. But it's going to have someone you do know, actually, Barbara Gordon, who is actually, as we know, she was Batgirl for a little bit in some of the series. But she's going to play...
That doesn't make sense. Why is she...
Well, she's going to play Oracle. So in the comics, she gets hurt from the Joker, and she can no longer walk. So she becomes the IT guy, like, I'm going to help you find the criminals. So solely working right out of the Batcave. Batman doesn't have to go back to the Batcave, figure it out. Nightwing can just call her up, Instagram her, tweet her, be like, hey, who's this scumbag? And he's going to be brought, with a couple of... Raven is going to be there, which is an awesome character. You can actually play her in the Injustice fighting game. She is awesome. I love her. We're going to see Starfire. I don't know too much about her. I'm sure she's kind of just do her own thing. And Hawk and Dove, which I feel like can add an interesting sidekick duo within the, the minor B team DC Universe team up. But live action will be kind of cool because I really want to see a live action portrayal of Nightwing. Especially with Robin. I am a Robin fan, as corny and as gay as he may be. But I do like Robin because there's several different Robins. Each one of them has their own, per se, badass feeling. One of them fights with like a bow staff. But I want to see Nightwing because he's the guy who will take justice into his hands over Batman, saying like, Batman, why don't we just kill the Joker? You're stupid. I was Robin forever. You just don't make sense. Kill this guy, and then you're safe and don't have to worry about him. So that's Nightwing, and I want to see that more than anything. I think the thing about it will be Nightwing for me.
It sounds like it could be cool. I don't. Are they? Is it for kids? I don't know what they're going to go.
Well, TNT. I don't know what else is on there besides
TNT.
NBA.
It's like action-y suits. I think that was on USA. But they have shows, I think, in that vein for older males. I just hope they present it.
No Cyborg and Beast Boy, though. And those were, I feel like, major Teen Titans. With Cyborg especially being in, like, the new Batman vs. Superman movie. And then Beast Boy was, like, the biggest comedic relief from it. Because he was, like, such a little douchebag in it. But that's what made, I feel like, those two core members... I'm glad Raven's there, because Raven's awesome. Her powers are awesome. But missing Cyborg and Beast Boy kind of, hits the heart. I think they're pretty notable characters to have in that particular series. And I think that kind of sucks, but I'm not writing it or making it, so...
You're not? Why the fuck not?
I don't know.
What happened?
Because I don't know them that well.
For that.
And then Daredevil.
I watched the trailer for that
Talk
today.
About that.
That's going to be on Netflix.
All 10 episodes
at
once.
That looks real as fuck. Like, it looks dark. It looks
presented. It looks like it's
pretty
presented
good. In a gritty realism. It looks like there's going to be action, but it looks like there's going to be a real moral struggle.
Very Norse style, it seems.
Kind of, yeah. But in a modern day, and it seems...
His suit is all black, not even red, like from the comics, or red and yellow.
Did you really see the suit?
Yeah, you can see it. It's all
black. I thought
black.
it was like in a shadow, but It looks badass. The trailer, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's
pretty good.
It's entertaining for 2 minutes at least. And
the only red you see is the blood dripping from his mouth. Amazing.
Why does blood drip from him?
He's like, face comes up from the water and it shows him like with blood dripping out his face. So that's the only sign of red you see. So he was like punched and then comes up. Like, I'm the Daredevil. You can knock me down so hard.
He's confessing to a priest in the trailer. That's pretty badass. It seems like it's going to be dark. It looks like it's not going to take place in the same universe that the new Superman movie and Batman vs. Superman movie are. At least that's an assumption I'm making.
Rosario Dawson will be in it.
Yeah? She's great.
And then the redhead from, I know the redhead from True Blood will be in it.
It looks, I don't know, I like the way it was shot from at least the trailer. And 10 episodes isn't over daunting, and I think you can do more with less in these things. I haven't been kept keeping up with Gotham, but when you have to have 22 episodes to a season...
Yeah, it says 13 episodes, and I think the first 10 will be released at once, or all 13 at once.
It'll probably be all 13, because that's usually what Netflix does.
Yeah.
They
do you think they'll ever do, like, an episodic Tuesday night of...
No.
You know...
Yeah, well, I think they will. They won't do it... For scripted shows, I don't think so. But I know Chelsea Handler's going to have a talk show there, and I imagine it's going to... I don't know if she'll be on 5 days a week, but I'm sure that'll be sort of a nightly thing. Maybe they will. I don't think they want to do that yet, because right now their niche is that it drops. It all drops right at once. And speaking of dropping right at once, right before we went on the air, or started recording tonight, I saw on the internet, as many of you probably did who are video game fans, a little crossover. That's the crossover noise we have. From the video game world, Netflix is gonna... They're in talks at least to do a series based on Zelda on Netflix. That's cool, because it's a Game of Thrones-esque sort of subject matter.
It was given a
live
cartoon series before, which I never watched. Maybe like a little 30-40 minute movie, but I never watched it.
Nintendo doesn't do this a lot. They're scared, rightfully so, from the early 90s Mario movie. They're very, very protective of their IPs.
Oh, yes.
And it's kind of shocking, but it's very...
It's definitely doable if it's in the right hands. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool.
It's cool to see that they're open to this new media and using Netflix, because they are an old-fashioned company, and being in business for over 100 years, they sort of, it's a different way of doing business in Asia. And so it's impressing me on some level that they're going to take this risk. They're going to team up with Netflix, and Netflix puts money in the shows. That's one thing they do. House of Cards ain't cheap. Orange is the New Black ain't really that cheap.
Who would you play? Who would you have play Zelda, and who would you have play Link?
Well,
if that was up to you, who would you try to cast? What would you get? Justin Bieber?
Enough.
Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus. That's what you need.
I would have Miley Cyrus.
She could be Princess Zelda.
That'd be cool. I think that.
And then the Biebs would try to find her.
I don't think Miley can act, but she had that show. What am I saying? Maybe she can, but it has to be kids. They're gonna do kids, right? They're gonna do like. I have 15, no idea, man.
There's no rumors on who's gonna play him.
They can't do. Zelda doesn't look. Maybe early 20s, but it's gonna.
I would get the guy.
Do a Peter Pan thing? Or are they gonna do like Allison Williams playing a fucking?
They could just use. Dude? They could just straight up use Hunger Games characters. They could just use PETA, the actor who plays the theater. What is his name? The guy. Oh my god. Josh Hutcherson could play Zelda, and Jennifer Lawrence will play Link, and then Jennifer Lawrence will play Zelda.
I'm always want to see more Jennifer Lawrence, so if she wants to participate, that is fine. I don't know. I played Zelda games when I was younger, so I'm not sure how many ancillary characters there are.
It's definitely. I feel like they'll definitely get somebody who will try to make a comeback. That's an Ewok. People.
That's a ringtone, everybody. That's professionalism. But I don't know how many ancillary characters are in Zelda, or how. I think the world's cool. I think that's why.
I think that's why they're gonna make it. It's because the world is so cool, and there's so many untapped realms of the Zelda universe that it could be.
But they also
interesting.
They could also base it on
a game, yeah, like Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I mean Ocarina of Time seems to be everybody's favorite.
I'll have to ask Taylor about this, because Taylor is a huge Zelda fan. We play Zelda Hyrule Warriors.
That's a cool game.
It's a cool game.
And I think maybe, you know what? If there's those type of battles in the show, that could really get people watching.
The battles, the magic, and then
just the story of a boy finding a chick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's growing. He's making prepubescent sounds. As what's that thing on his shoulder?
The trident. On the shield.
The fucking fairy.
Listen.
Followed him.
Listen.
I don't know if
the fairy. I'm sure it has a name. I mean, we'll ask Taylor all this information.
If being Legend of Zelda, if that's gonna hurt, if somebody wouldn't watch it because of it, it's weird. I don't know, but I assume there's a lot of built-in audience that would, just because it is Legend of Zelda. So I think
that can be cool.
Judging the move just on what we heard, good for them. Yeah. Good for all parties involved. Netflix for taking a chance on a video game property. Nintendo for, loosening a grip on an IP that is their, a cash cow for them. And they're going to go to Legend of Zelda this year, early next year for that game on the Wii U. And they know how important that IP is for them. So good on them to, have some balls and try something new.
I think it'd be
we
cool.
all should do from time to time. Sean, what else is happening in the world?
We have 2, I guess, exciting video game releases coming up. Next week we have Evolve.
Is that next week?
Yeah, the 10th.
I thought it was March.
Which, are you sure? Wait, let me see.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's check. I think it's going to be a, Left 4 Dead-esque, shoot 'em up game.
I don't think
monster influence.
I think it's going to be I thought it was going to be like a squad.
Yeah, squad based. Remember, you ever play Brute Force on the original Xbox? It was like
I've seen the cover.
It had like a lizard-esque type character in it, like the badass chick, rogue girl, like that big heavy set guy with like the heavy artillery. Evolve looks like it's going to take very similar elements of that, add like more of a monster feel to it. 2K's making it, which is kind of cool. because we're addicted to NBA. Yeah, so and I think it could be kind of promising. 2K doesn't make shit games. Borderlands was amazing. They're re-releasing that again, which is I'm probably going to buy because that's a really entertaining game. 2K is definitely, my buddy who works in the studio business said 2K is definitely a good industry or a company to work for that doesn't make shit games, which I can definitely agree with. And the new one, Evolve, I don't know if I'm going to buy it because I'm still playing Dying Light, but it could be cool. I'm hoping, I have high hopes for it. I'm looking for always new games to play on PlayStation 4.
It looks Gears of War too.
Yeah. Maybe that, you think that could be the Gears of War series for PlayStation that they've been wanting, their franchise Halo-esque title.
It's on both consoles, so.
Yeah, that's true.
And what's that? Where is Gears of War? I would have thought there would have been one.
Well, I know there was like a prequel one, but the main character was Bard, I think.
But I guess they wanted to end that series because they pumped out a lot of those.
And they were all great games, though. None of them were bad.
Fun.
They got better as they got to the sequels. Added more elements.
That created the Horde mode.
And I love the voice acting in it. The voice acting.
It's very over the top.
Oh, I love it. It's
very Starship Trooper-y kind of. That's sort of the vibe I got. So Evolve, it looks cool. Another game that doesn't really have reviews out right now. So that's
then we have
something we'll know more about on next week's show, whether or not you should purchase it or not.
So does that mean I'm supposed to buy it because you emphasized it like that?
No, I was.
You're supposed to buy every game
you
on Tuesday that comes out.
The audience. You buy them, then return.
If you play it and you're listening or you buy it, let us know.
Yeah, tweet us at Lunatic Creative, at that JPO, at Duty John. Comment on the episode when it's up on the website.
And then Mortal Kombat 10.
Mortal Kombat 10. Saw a preview on IGN today. That game looks awesome.
Gory as hell. Definitely going for the mature rating.
Got old school characters and new characters.
Yeah, there's new big ass dudes in it. Goro's a pre-order character. I know that.
There's a character that is the son of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade.
I saw that. That was cool.
And she looks badass.
And it was something. Oh yeah, I saw that. So there's they have Offspring now, which is pretty cool. I know the limited edition comes with a pretty badass statue. I bought the Mortal Kombat limited edition for Xbox 360 when it came out, and it came with, and I still use them today. I love them. It came with the Scorpion shooting his, little thing coming out of his hand through it's a bookshelf thing. It holds the book. What is it called? The book stoppers, whatever you want to call them, the bookends.
Bookends.
And it's, Scorpion shooting his thing out on the other end. It is Sub-Zero getting stabbed in the chest. So it's actually a pretty awesome limited edition book set. I mean, this one's a statue. I'm sure the detail on it will look cool. I mean, if I get it, I would probably buy that one just to have that figure. I mean, they always put out pretty decent statues when they make limited editions. If the limited edition has like a statue or like a Batmobile replica like the Batman was supposed to have, I may buy it because I'm a sucker for that stuff. It's cool, it's limited, it looks neat, it's whatever. March 14th.
One of my first loves in gaming was the Mortal Kombat series. I guess being so young, it was probably the gore and whatnot. I remember playing in the arcade. I remember getting it on Sega Genesis. I remember getting it on N64. I remember getting it on PlayStation. I remember getting it on Dreamcast. I remember every system I've had a Mortal Kombat.
You didn't like Street Fighter, though?
I like Street Fighter, but I like Mortal Kombat more.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
just because it was grittier feel. I know that real hardcore fighting game people, apparently Street Fighter's better.
It's definitely harder, though, and I'm sure that's why, because every time I played, I was like, why do I suck so much at this game?
I like Virtua Fighter a lot, too.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
like
one.
fighting games
Tekken's great. I think Tekken's amazing.
I wasn't as much Tekken.
Soul Calibur, that one's real good. There's a lot of good characters in that.
Marvel vs. Capcom. But Mortal Kombat...
that's the best one.
Did your parents care about Mortal... Like, I remember being... When I was 6 or 7 years old, I played Doom, I played Mortal Kombat. I don't know if my parents were ignorant to the fact, but the violence...
It's violent.
It wasn't that violent. Those games weren't that violent. Now I can see maybe Grand Theft Auto 5. It's a little ridiculous.
If you're not over 13, it's kind of I think at least a teenager that's 15 and up should play Grand Theft Auto.
But did your parents care about Mortal Kombat when you were 7?
I remember. Hell no, dude. My parents knew I knew. I had such a big imagination that it's like when I played these games, they knew it's like, oh, he's not going to think he's gonna freeze people and then try to uppercut them into endless pits and have their insides fall to the ground and then rip their heads off. Like Mortal Kombat was definitely gory, but this one looks like it's upping the ante. It's like the trailers and the gameplay are just like, damn, like there's no holding back. Like there's a scene, like a fight where a dude just cuts his intestines out. I mean, it's still gonna be 2-dimensional based, not 3D. And I know they tried that 3D-dimensional base with some of the other ones. And, people, I feel like the hardcore fans just didn't like that. So I think it's going to be...
It's 2D, right? But it's like in a 3D world.
Yeah, it's 2D in a 3D world, like the fighting style. So it'll be a lot like, the last one that came out, just Mortal Kombat. The Marvel vs. DC, DC Universe, or was Mortal Kombat, which was a great game. A lot along those elements. I think it'll be just like that. I think it'll be cool if they give you a character that is from Injustice, like Batman's in the game as a DLC, because they put Scorpion in that all DC based game. It's like, hey, let me come in your world a little bit since you just came into my game. Yeah, you're Scorpion, but did you really belong here?
I don't know. I think the selling point is going to be it's Mortal Kombat characters doing Mortal Kombat things, and I think as long as it's fun to play with other people, I think it's going to be a winner. Because people are desperate for... Like, what was the last fighting game that really got people talking? They're very few and far between now. And
I think the most recognizable one now is... I mean, the Dragon Ball Z fighting ones are pretty big. But I think... For me, I think it's... When Soul Calibur comes out, that one does pretty well. They have, like, niche characters for, like, specific systems. Like, oh, you'll get... What they do in the last one. Like, the first one that came out for Xbox and PlayStation 2 was like, you got Heihachi from Tekken and Soul Calibur. If you had an Xbox, you got Spawn, which was kind of cool. First time you ever saw Spawn in a neat video game form. And then for the GameCube, you got Zelda. So, like, they were all, like, specifically to those systems, which was kind of cool. The second one did just, like, Xbox and PlayStation, and it was, you got Darth Vader or Yoda, and Yoda was pretty unfair. So those were pretty cool. I thought Mortal Kombat's definitely gonna be a good game to try out. I guarantee you, if you get it, you'll play it a lot with your friends and homies who come over. It's definitely a game like 2K that you can buy and you can get longevity out of, because you can play friends. I'm sure you can play online. Hopefully that's better. Previous ones were kind of slow and laggy. But it's a Warner Brother game, and I'm sure it'll do pretty good. They've been on a good streak with. Obviously the surprise was Walking Dead, or Dying Light. I think that'll be cool because Warner Brothers made that too. The Shadow of Mordor game they made, which was kind of one of those other games that wasn't advertised a whole lot. It was very niche to, Lord of the Rings fans. I got it because my buddy told me I got it. Don't really like Lord of the Rings. Very surprised.
People
Pretty
love
solid
that game.
It's a great game.
People love that game.
So I'm sure Mortal Kombat will be great.
Yeah, I love one of my first loves of gaming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sub-Zero is my favorite. I feel like you're either Sub-Zero or you're Scorpion guy.
Get over here!
And I know apparently in the games I missed, Sub-Zero died. Scorpion killed him, which is sad. But
so Sub-Zero,
I assume he's back for this one.
Yeah.
I assume they brought him back because he's very popular.
I think they
character.
showed them in the one teaser trailer, game trailer. They showed that the two iconic characters fighting.
I want to play something for you and you, the audience. We were talking movie themes earlier. This is one of my favorite movie themes, folks. And we're going to let a little ad play first. But we just all
What's the ad for?
We need to take the nostalgia trip. Some movie on Crackle.
Oh, yeah.
But this song...
You could still rave to it, bro.
This is some OG 90s rave, contemporary movie theme. I love the Hollywood studio exec
This is the best
that
part.
okayed
This is the best.
Just break out in a dance party, people, at your cubicle. If you're driving here to work, fucking dance. Who cares? You're probably in standstill traffic if you're in Southern California.
And then it says all their names: Johnny Cage, Liu Kang,
this is amazing.
Sonya Blade. This one's the best.
One of my favorite themes. Absolutely one of my favorite themes. All right.
Let me turn the lights on and back on and put the glow sticks away real quick.
Yeah, hold on. We took way too much Molly before this podcast. Way too much.
You want to talk about 3-point contest?
Yeah, 3-point contest is going to be
buckets.
Folks, 3-point contest is going to be amazing. Let me just look up, just make sure I have all the contestants right. But offhand, you know who's going to be in it? Steph fucking Curry. Steph Curry's...
And his homeboy. And Klay Thomas.
And Klay Thompson. Steph Curry's right now the front runner for MVP. I think most people would agree. Steph Curry's in this. This is going to take place next weekend, Saturday, February 14th. So this will probably be the last podcast.
TNT, right? TNT.
The time, this all starts 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 for us for those of us on the West Coast. So we got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Marco Bellinelli from the Spurs, Kyrie Irving from Cleveland, Wesley Matthews from Portland, JJ Redick from the Los Angeles Clippers, where we are, James Harden from
So
Houston.
he is going to play. I knew he would.
And Kyle Korver. This is one of the most star-studded 3-point lineups I've ever seen.
They all deserve to be there.
I've never been looking forward to 3-point contest more than dunk contest, even though dunk contest has been god-awful the last 5 or 6 years. This is definitely a 3-point contest I look forward to. This is Steph Curry. He has to win this.
You're going for Steph Curry?
No, I'm rooting for Kyle Korver because I'm from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I kind of want to see.
Korver,
I think it'd be cool to see him win one more thing because he's getting up there in age. Give him something if he can't win the MVP or the Hawks make it to deep in the playoffs. Let Korver just for his outstanding game, playing this year. Let him get the 3-point contest.
It's coming down to Korver and Curry.
That's what you say?
I'd say Korver and Curry is the final two, and I'll take Korver.
I think it's just there's so many good players there right now, and I would look at it in terms of which players are better off the give, so making those threes, or who can just go up to the line, do a little shake and bake and make it.
They all
because they're all pulling it from the rack, right?
Steph Curry.
So I think Seth is definitely going to be.
But Kyle Korver's he's great at setting his feet, moving without the ball, going to a position, waiting for it, taking a good close examination of where he is and whether it's a good shot, and taking it. He's shooting. What's his Kyle? Well, let's look up Kyle Korver 3-point percentage. A good 3-point percentage.
Are they all top 5? I'm assuming they got to be all like top 10 3-pointers right now in the league.
Yeah, they are. They're all up there. Some more than others because Harden shoots a lot more. Kyle Korver's 3-point percentage. Now keep in mind, folks, a good one's like 37%. His 3-point percentage this year is 53. That his 3-point
almost guaranteed
percentage
every time he'll make a
is
shot.
better than his 2-point field goal percentage.
Wow.
It's just a field goal percentage. He's making over half of the threes he takes. That's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
And he's not just taking some threes. He has taken 280 threes. That's 280 more than you, than me, than any of you schmucks in the car right now. And he's hit 149. That's amazing. He's having a crazy good year.
Who's next?
Who's
next? Who's got
I don't
set
have
up?
it set up like that, man. You can't call me out like that. Let's see.
The internet's, man.
3.
I would say Seth Curry shoots a lot.
3-point percentage leaders 2015. Let's see if anything comes up.
I don't think Kyrie's up there. He takes a lot, but percentage of that go down. I mean, I like his drives better, personally. I mean, do I think he deserves to be there? Is he there because of LeBron? I don't know. He definitely probably deserves to be there.
Threes, though. Let's see if we can get the percentage. Kyle Korver's 1. Courtney Lee is 2.
He's
Aaron
not
Brooks
there.
is 3.
He's not there.
Yeah, but though they'd have 280.
Man,
Clay
the people are there
Thompson's
should be
4.
there.
It's not necessarily the percentage because
So you're gonna go
it's
with
tough.
Korver.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Korver. Right?
Yeah.
Korver's having.
I'm
a hell of
rooting
a
for
year.
Korver, but
I
I
want Korver to
think
win.
I'm rooting for Korver, but I think I want to say Klay Thomas. I think Klay Thomas may take it.
Thompson.
Thompson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's great.
Klay Thompson.
He's having a hell of a year too. So that's going to be really cool. Let's just check, folks. I believe the Hawks beat the Warriors in what it was the most anticipated game so far this season. East meets West, the best versus the best.
Maybe
and
the
Hawks,
finals.
And I believe a very
It'd be a great
good chance to preview the finals because neither team
Definitely be a great finals.
Touched. 124-116 in Atlanta. I would love that for 7 games in the finals. So please, Steve Kerr, please, Mike Budenholzer, keep up your good work. Coach these teams in the finals. The Hawks, definitely a total team effort. And Golden State, just stay fucking healthy. It would suck.
I think we want to see that because there's not one specific guy who has the ball in his hand more than anyone else. Both teams get all their guys involved.
Yeah, I'd like to see Steph go for 60 a game or something.
I just want to see. I want to see him win MVP or get to the finals because he's playing so well right now. He's such a team player. And, just the way, I mean, the other night, Klay dropped like 52, right? Then, the other day, then Seth Curry drops a bunch, and they had a real nice dunk with I think the second string had a real nice dunk. Or at the Seth Curry, there's a really awesome Seth Curry to Bogut dunk that happened. No look, pass. I mean, they get everybody involved, and that's why I like to watch the Warriors play just as much as the Hawks. It's always great seeing good old Kyle Korver, homeboy from Philly, not from there, but playing for the Sixers, shoot those threes.
Got his NBA chops, played with AI, which is anyone who can successfully play for AI alike. To wrap up the sports talk, we're from Philadelphia, I guess you could say, the suburbs, but Philadelphia sports was my first love of sports, was watching Comcast Sports at 7 in the morning before I had to go to elementary school. So Philadelphia athletes are very important to me. There's a lot from my childhood, like I mentioned, Allen Iverson. A lot from Sean's, mainly because he shares the blood of one. If we pricked him right now, out would come these droplets of blood that would hate Frank Gifford and hate Kathy Lee Gifford like we all do, and hate fucking Cody. Like, fuck, her kids are unbearable. And I'm happy that I'll show my friend because we can share our hate for Kathy Lee Gifford together, but it's because he's related to Chuck Bednarik. And Chuck Bednarik, what list is he on? What is this?
Okay, so this is the myfoxphilly.com/category/295560/good/days/greatest the ultimate Philly athlete. So basically, Fox Philly greatest athlete, Billy Penn, the ultimate Philly athlete. It's pretty cool. Pick your favorite Philly athlete.
It's a bracket. And has there been any voting?
Okay, so there's no voting. I mean, you can definitely vote on the website, so definitely vote. But it has people it's got NBA players going up against MLB players with, for example, you have Wilt Chamberlain going up against Robin Roberts. I mean,
but wait, let's go to your grandfather and see what chance he has, because he's in the upper left bracket. He's in a tough bracket because also in his bracket's Wilt fucking Chamberlain. Eric Lindros, Charles Barkley, Steve Carlton, B-Hop, Chucky B, like we mentioned, and his first round matchups against Cole Hamels. Now,
I honestly think that category out of all the other ones, maybe besides the one to the right of it with Julius Erving and McNabb and Malone, is probably
I think it's the toughest. I think the top left is definitely the toughest. I think bottom left is Allen Iverson and Bernie Perrant in there. Tug McGraw. I think if you're looking at let's just do your grandfather's one. Wilt Chamberlain versus question marks. I guess they haven't added somebody to that yet.
I have it here. It's against Robin Roberts from the Phillies. So I would say Wilt.
Wilt. He's great. Robin Roberts is great.
Lindros versus Barkley.
Well, that's a tough one. Personally, I'm going to go with Lindros.
Me too. Barkley's just such a dick lately too. He's such an ass.
But he's very entertaining. I love Charles Barkley, but he didn't accomplish as much as a Sixer as I think Eric Lindros did a Flyer. And he's such a Philly guy in that he was embroiled in a controversy. Everybody hated him, and then maybe management did it. Maybe Bobby Clark did him wrong. It was like huge. It turned into a huge.
That's like the one Flyer that I didn't even watch hockey and I knew about. It's like Eric Lindros. Okay, so he must be pretty good. And then you have Steve Carlton versus Bernard Hopkins. That's a pretty good one.
I'm a Bernard Hopkins guy.
I'd have to go with him too.
I got into boxing because of Bernard Hopkins, so I go Bernard Hopkins. Then we go Chuck Bednarik versus Cole Hamels, and I'd say it's no contest with Chuck Bednarik.
The peanut chew guy.
Cole Hamels was great in the World Series, but Chuck Bednarik,
he's got a trophy.
He won a title.
And he also has a statue made after him. Cole Hamels
doesn't,
decent pitcher, but
not the longevity enough right now as Cole's 32 years old to go up against him. Then Mike Schmidt against who is he? He doesn't have Westbrook. Mike Schmidt, best third baseman
then you got
third baseman of all time.
Bernie,
best hitting third baseman. I think we got to go with him.
Bernie Parents versus Ron
Jaworski. Let's not do all these out. So we'd go Wilt versus Eric. I'd go with Wilt, and then it'd be B-Hop versus Chuck Bednarik. I would go Chuck Bednarik. That would be tougher though because Bernard Hopkins was so good for so long. Mike Schmidt.
I want to see. I want my grandfather. I want him to win the whole thing.
Yeah, so I think he's got a good chance. I think on the other side, the people that would give him a run for his money would be Brian Dawkins. Everyone loves Brian Dawkins. He embodies Philadelphia. As far as like an Eagle, I think he's he's a spiritual successor to your grandfather.
Well, Reggie White is in here too.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Apparently he's rated 3 in history of Eagles.
He didn't play enough.
Pete Files is 1, and then it's my grandfather, and then it's Reggie White.
Yeah, Reggie White too, but he won a Super Bowl in Green Bay.
I just think the final will come down to Will and my grandfather on the left hand side. And then on the right hand side, I'm gonna have to say Julius Erving, and I'd want to say maybe Joe Frazier.
Yeah, no,
maybe
Joe Frazier too. Joe Frazier.
So maybe Julius Erving, Joe Frazier. So Chuck against Joe Frazier would be kind of cool.
And I think there's no losers then if that happens. Yeah. I think.
But I guess we'll keep this bookmarked and see who wins it in the future. I don't know how long it's going to take him to post.
So. But yeah, let's see what happens. It's cool if we can get him a nice win. He's a nice icing on the cake, a cherry on top to a great fucking life and career. So let's get him another award. Before we close this out, folks, I want this podcast to evolve into things. So we're going to try something that's new. I want to do more of this. If it goes well, if it doesn't, we'll never speak of it again, much like the Star Wars Christmas special. This will be the Wookiee, Earth Day, whatever the fuck they call it in the special. We're going to try a game. It's going to be a short game. Don't tune out yet. And the subject of this game is going to be Sean. I created this game. I don't have a name for it, but the premise of the game is simple. I have a list of movie titles. I'm going to say the title, and then you're going to tell me whether or not this is a title of a Steven Seagal movie or not.
Okay.
Now, Steven Seagal movies, folks, I was doing research for this game. I got the idea for this game because of how ridiculous the titles of his movies really are. So, did I pull this out of my ass? Or is this really a Steven Seagal movie name? First one.
Okay. So, true or false, basically.
This just say, yeah. Let's see how you should, what the syntax you should answer. True or false. Okay. True or false, is this a Steven Seagal movie title? Pistol Whipped. Did I pull that out of my ass, or did Steven Seagal star in what must be a fucking movie classic? Or is Steven Seagal in Pistol Whipped?
Is he with?
You think your dessert was sweet before?
I feel like it would have to have like, what is it?
With Wesley Snipes.
Well, I'm sure he co-starred with.
I would have to. I'm gonna say false.
You are wrong. It is a Wesley or Steven Seagal movie. So you missed one. You're 0 for 1. Let's see if he can make up for it. Half Past Dead.
I'm gonna say true.
That is true. That was a gimme I put in there since that came out in the movie theaters.
I remember that.
A lot of his movies didn't get the distinction of playing in an AMC in Trexlertown, Pennsylvania. A lot of his movies just went to the Blockbuster in Trexlertown. Let me tell you, a lot of rednecks were picking up those movies. Next one. Is this a real Steven Seagal movie title, or did I pull this out of my ass? Blunt Force Trauma.
That is one. I know it is.
That's false. I made that up.
Why does that sound so familiar? Why did I hear that?
Because they all sound the same. Is this a real Steven Seagal movie title, or did I pull this out of my ass? The Mercenary.
True.
False.
These are like ones you would specifically think that are. Why are you doing this to me?
1 for 4. All right, folks. Is this a real Steven Seagal movie? Did I pull this out of my ass? Today You Die, starring Steven Seagal.
Yes, true.
It is true.
Okay.
Second one. All right. Another one. Is this a real Steven Seagal movie? Or did I pull this out of my ass like everything else I've said tonight? The Mercenary.
You already said that one, didn't you? I said,
did I?
True, and you said false.
All right, yeah, you're right. Sergeant.
Say like Under Siege, because I know that one for sure.
Sergeant of Justice.
Yeah.
False.
Okay.
2 for 6. Sean goes. The inaugural playing of the Steven Seagal movie name. I might do this with other actors. I like this.
That was good. I like that one.
Maybe we get you involved. If we can ever accept calls, folks, we're gonna get you people involved. So
just tweet it, and then we'll talk about it. Since we're not live, we have to post it and everything. We'll talk about it on the next week's show. Give us an actor, or an actress, and we can, play a game where one of us makes fake movie titles to the other. Maybe some of the more reputable name or a little longevity of their career, like Steven Seagal having
they
straight
need to have
movie.
enough. And more
like
ridiculous
Chris O'Donnell or
titles.
something.
I think Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That'd be a good one.
I think these are all
let's just do. We'll try to do one dude from the Expendables every week, because
Expendables,
all those guys are all those action heroes who've had decent semi-action good movies in the beginning of their career, and then just started to. What the hell are you making this for?
Just for the paycheck. They're unabashedly in it for the paycheck. We are not, folks. We don't get paid for this at all. So just support us by listening to it. That's just subscribe to us on iTunes. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to the website. Check out what we write, what we post all over the place. Thanks for listening this week. For Sean Davis, I am Jason Paul, helping you stay informed each and every week on the Geeky News. Good night, everybody.
Peace.